with Imperial Tropicals on another fun Friday. Hope everybody's having a good week, and I know around the country it's still really cold. Luckily, we live in Florida where the weather is really, really nice right now, so we've been really enjoying our springtime weather, and I hope everyone else is, enjoying theirs, and springtime's just around the corner. So um, I know Drayden did the live feed last Friday. I thought he did a great job, so he's going to join us again today, and we're going to show you some of the new fish that we recently brought in, and hopefully if you guys have any requests that we could find them for you and show them off to you also. I'm going to walk you around and just show you a couple of the new things that we're working on here. So we started out building another row for the tanks, and this one's quite a bit different. Like you can see, this is a rack that the guys put together for the 40s. So we got that one built. We're just going to start on the plumbing, and then this rack is going to be for actually for 10-gallon tanks. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different than the other racks we've been building. This is going to be for the wholesale orders, and we'll be able to fit like 120 tanks on this rack right here, and it'll be really nice. We're going to wrap the tanks similar to these other tanks, but these are wrapped in blue. We're going to do black background, and we're going to do a logo right there in the back, so it'll be pretty exciting. So I see we're getting a few people on. Ahmad's on. What's up? I actually went down to Miami. What was it? I'm trying to remember what night it was. I went down Wednesday to Miami to pick up an order of fish, and the fish got delayed, so I didn't leave Miami till like 8 o'clock at night, and it's a 4-hour drive back to Lakeland. Got here back at midnight with a whole lot of fish to put up, and we were up till 2 o'clock in the morning putting up bags of fish. So it was quite the adventure that day, but everything came in really, really nice, and the fish are looking good. So I want to walk around to show you that. We're having a little pizza party here at work. Everybody say hi, Mike, Elijah, Drayden, Zach, other Mike, Teresa. So it's and like I said, we still got lots of tanks to break down and get on the racks. We got these 10-gallon tanks here. Got these in last week, and I actually got I think it's like 96 more of them that I have to pick up next week. So it's going to be nice because right now our wholesale orders, we do not pack them in this building, so it'll be nice to have a dedicated area and be able to have everything under one roof, so we could stage the fish for shipment here, and then we're going to put some tables down here at the end for packing, so it'll give us more room to pack orders. So it'll be good. All right, Wendy's on. So excited. Got to see you this morning when I picked up my pygmies and bleeding hearts. Love coming in. When do you think you'll have more Congo touches? Well, Wendy, I'm glad that you were able to come out. I still wish that we were able to have the appointments like we did pre-COVID, and I'm just glad that we are able to have an area that people could come in like yourself and pick up their order, and I can't wait to be able to allow our customers to be able to walk around and actually pick out their fish. But I do have some good news for you. So we do have some Congos, and these literally just came in like 2 days ago, and so they're not ready for sale yet, but they came in really good shape. Right now they're in quarantine, but they're looking really nice. So those are the Congos that you typically see in the hobby. And then we got another Congo type, and on that same order, and this is the yellow Congo Tetra, and this is the first time that we've been able to get these guys because they're pretty rare, but there is some captive breeding going on, and there are not very many of the yellow Congo, and I know that because they are so rare that, you know, we had to pay quite a bit more for them than what your standard Congo, you know, cost. But so we do have two types of Congos available, and they should be ready next week. And if I remember right, you live, you know, not too far away, so, you know, if you want some Congos, they should be ready next week. Now you said you got some of the pygmy cories, and these are awesome little fish, so I'm glad you picked up some of those guys. They're really cool fish to watch. I just like watching them school around, you know. So cool. Glad you were able to come out. It's crazy that, you know, we started doing the pickups a few months ago, and just how many people are utilizing that pickup method. So it's working out really good. So appreciate that, Carlos. Carlos says it looks good. Tom from Malibu, good old Malibu. I love seeing you on, Tom. Monster Fish Gal, hello everyone. Vicky's on, hello Vicky. Andrew, hello. Ahmad, he said we're gonna meet up next time. I'm hoping next time that I'll be able to come down and before the shipment comes in, and we could hang out. I wouldn't mind, you know, you and I going out and maybe catching some peacock bass or something. So KG's wanting a slice of pizza. Brian M was asking about the tanks. Yes, those are all 40-gallon breeders. We do have a few 75s left over from when we were building the 75 racks, but at some point those 75s will go over into Mike B's breeding room. Nice, Jack. Well, happy late birthday. Yesterday was Jack's birthday, so you need some fish. Well, hey, Drayton's been really good, so you see something in here that you like today when we start showing you the fish, and Drayden will take care of you. I know we had quite a few orders come in last Friday after Drayden was showing everybody, you know, all the different fish. And what was nice about what Drayden did last week is he was able to take his time and you know, really show you the fish, to where a lot of times when I come in, I'm just kind of rushing through, you know. So it was nice that he was able to take his time and show you all the fish. Let me know when you're ready, Drayden. All right. So the tangs are doing really good for us, Tanganyikan fish. Those are actually some that we're saving for breeders, but they are looking nice. We are doing really well with the Tanganyikans. You know, even though we have hard water here at our facility, it's still not Tanganyikan hard. So whenever we started adding, you know, some salt buffer, mineral buffers to it, we really saw a big difference in our Tanganyikans. They just started really, you know, showing a lot more color and a lot more breeding activity. So so if you are going to keep Tanganyikans, I would really look at your water chemistry and make sure that you don't need, you know, any of the buffers. We use the Seachem buffer, and it's working out really well. So so Drayton's ready to show you guys some fish. So you want to show them the endo?
Start with these right here.
Yeah.
Tretocephalus.
Oh, the trets, yeah. Now these kind of look like baby frontosas, right? I mean, yeah. But they don't get big. So
they get 5-6 inches usually. They are meaner than frontosa are.
Yeah.
But they're good for community setups that are, you know, 75 gallons or bigger.
Yeah. No, they're really cool fish, and you know, I know they're like mean, but it's more like a feistiness, right? They won't like usually kill fish unless they're smaller than them.
Yeah, maybe when they're breeding and if something won't get out of their way, but otherwise they're just gonna scare them off.
Yeah. So they just got a lot of attitude. So, man, those guys are really colored up too. Is that some of the ones we brought in from Germany?
These are actually from a pond. They're German Red Peacocks that we spawned last year and set out to grow up.
I guess that's a good thing that I can't tell our strain from the German strain, right?
We're keeping it good.
Yeah, yeah. Because when I first looked at them, I'm like, because I know we brought in some of these on that. Well, they might have been Ruby Reds.
Ruby Reds, yeah.
Which are very similar, but these have fantastic color on them. So, Now, people keeping these fish, they can't just expect that fish to show up at their door and be popping with full color, right? I mean,
no, I mean sometimes our fish are just too good and they look great out the bag, but more than often you're going to end up with a somewhat gray fish. With these in particular, they might look blue because that's what their base color is. Yeah. And the red really comes out when they're excited, when they've been fed some nice food. Yeah. And that's partly why they come in from the pond looking so great, because they do get a lot of nutrients out of the bugs that spawn in the ponds. But we've had them in here for about 3 weeks now, and they've kept their color. So
yeah, and we actually get a lot of people that order, you know, like a 6-pack of all male peacocks, and you know, when we send them out, they're looking like this, but when they receive them, they're kind of washed out. And what I think a lot of people don't understand that is that you could have a tank with ideal conditions with male peacocks, but you're still going to have a few dominant ones that are running the tank, and the subdominants will turn their colors off.
Pretty much always. There's even cases of males looking like females for their whole life because they don't want to be picked on, and then if you put them in their own tank, they'll get their male coloration in 2 months.
Yeah, because we actually got a negative review from a guy recently, which don't happen very often, but that was his complaint, was like, well, 3 of them look like stunners and 3 of them don't, and my existing fish in the tank, they still look really good. And I try to explain to him that, well, your existing fish are probably more dominant, you know, and the 3 that are colored up are feeling it, you know, feeling good. So and I think the more people understand that, the better they'll be at keeping their fish.
I think that's it for this row.
Yeah, those guys look too. Those did come from Germany, right?
Yep. These guys are. I showed them off last week. I know. Rhabdotis. I stripped one of the females a few days ago for all her fry and got about 30 fry, and then the next morning they were spawning again. So
I mean, that's like the missing link between predator haps and peacocks. Right?
Yeah, look how long their faces are. They're huge.
Yeah.
Very excited to have these, and very excited that they're spawning.
Yeah. So what row we want to go to next? We're getting quite a few people on today, 58 right now, so that's good. I'm gonna try to answer some of these questions while we're going to the next area. Ryan's on. Hello, Ryan. Renee de Lander from the Netherlands. Welcome from the Netherlands. Beautiful country too. I would like to go spend more time visiting it. So, all right. So these are actually Tangray's rummy nose.
Yep. Right. We've got a few wild ones left, but these are Tangrays as well. And I don't know if Mike said, but most of these should be going up on the website early next week, as long as they still look good.
Yeah, they just came in like 2 days ago, so I'm happy that these rummy nose are already showing this kind of color.
We didn't even lose any, I don't think. It looks like they're all happy. They all got red faces, which is a very good indicator that they are happy and healthy. Yeah. So I like seeing this fish available, Tangrays. Also, I know they've got lots of them in the wild, you know, so it's not impacting the wild, but this is a beautiful fish, and there's certain times that the wild ones are not available depending on the rainy season and the dry season, so it's nice that these are being tank raised. We got another one down here that just came in. Yeah, these are a new geophagus in the market. They've been around for maybe 2 years now, called the Alto Sinu, or the gold dust geophagus, and they look like Steindachnerai. They've kind of got similar body shape and max size, but they are a golden or a neon green color. It's hard to pick up on the camera, but we'll try to get some good photos once they settle in to really show them off.
And again, you know, these are kind of like peacocks. Like, you know, these guys just came in from a long shipment, so they're not fully recovered, and until they really start showing their breeding colorations, you know, they're not going to really be popping. But I know we originally didn't have this fish on our order list, and I told you when I seen it, I was like, man, I would really like to get that fish because it's stunning. Yeah. Especially when it's in its breeding coloration. So, and they've done really well. They came in good shape. You can see them digging in the sand already. So, cardinals, I mean, I'm still happy that, you know, this is the ones that we still have from the shipment from Colombia. I think we brought in, I don't know, like 2,000 of them. I think it's 4 bags or something like that. And the fact that they've held up so good in the system, I was really happy about that. But there's not a whole lot of cardinals left, because usually these 2 tanks, usually when people buy cardinals, they're buying like groups of 10 or 20 or 30. I mean, we have 50 packs go out, and to me, that's probably the best looking tank, is when you've got a 50 pack of Cardinals scrolling around a big planted tank. I mean, it's really hard to beat that.
So much more color than neons.
Yeah. Columbia's fish still looking good. You know, I'm hoping that people will catch on to how nice these are, you know, because I think that's a really cool
Yeah, we've had a couple people get them and try them out, and they've said they liked them.
Yeah.
Once they arrive and settle in, they do tend to color up more towards the 2 to 3 inch size.
Yeah.
But they're very nice, robust Tetra.
So this is a new quarry. The Similis?
Yep, Similis quarries. They're usually called violet quarries. The spot on their tail is violet color, maybe navy color, depending on the light. And then it turns into a bunch of tiny little spots as it creeps up their back. Yeah. So they're small. They're less than an inch right now. They're settling in, but they do have a lot of color.
Yeah. What's cool is that we got these from my friend in Indonesia, and Hans Evers from the Amazonas magazine is a good friend of mine. And when we went to Indonesia 2 years ago to visit my friend Jeffrey, they were actually building a big breeding facility just for all these rare quarries. And I know this isn't like the real rare one, but it's still not commonly available in the wholesale market. And it's exciting that he's going to have a lot more tank raised quarries coming from his facility.
Definitely, the more quarries the better.
Yeah.
And panda quarries.
Yeah, and I was happy with the size of these.
They're big.
Know? Yeah, yeah, they look really nice. Yeah, pandas are always a favorite. I mean, it's hard to beat a panda quarry, and it's nice that these are, you know, easy to breed. So, is this more gold dust?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I thought there was 2 tanks of them.
They're bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some more of those Geophagus altos. Oh, these guys came in good too. I remember when I was putting these up. So we got some Bolivian rams. We do have a breeding group over in our breeding room, but you know, we're not able to breed enough of them yet. So we ended up bringing some of these Bolivians in, and a really cool, you know, dwarf cichlid, you know, that if you like, you know, the dwarf species, this is a really nice one. Now it gets bigger than like your German rams do. I mean, we've had breeders of these guys get up to like 4 or 5 inches, you know, so, you know, but it's still considered a dwarf species.
Definitely. That's it for this row.
Yeah. There's one of our lone puffers right there, the Amazon puffers. We're going to show them a tank of those too, right?
That guy.
Yeah.
South American puffer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool to know that the Amazon's got puffer fish, you know, that are freshwater. You guys don't want to see the Africans, I know that, because we show them to you all the time, but I know you African guys are crazy and that's all you want to see, but I love it. Yeah, on this order we brought in, you know, South American, some Centrals. We ended up getting some lemon Tetras, and you know what's crazy is they came in really, really small. But what's crazy is that normally we would always buy these local from, I have several friends that breed them, but because the demand for fish domestically has been so high, we couldn't find it. I mean, it's been like 2 months before we, you know, had any lemon Tetras, so we actually brought some in on that order, and they are a little bit smaller, but the good thing is that they're healthy, and you know, we'll fatten those guys up and send them out.
And I know a lot of people have been waiting for these for a long time.
Yeah.
Panda Gara.
Yeah, the Panda Gara. Those, I remember when we first started selling these guys, like, you know, people didn't know what they were. You know, I'm like, we took some good pictures and videos of them, and now I can't tell you how many people email us back and say, man, these are some of my favorite fish.
They're great. They eat all the kinds of algae that you don't want in your tank.
Yeah.
And you know, they're related to the fish that nail salons use.
Yeah.
to clean people's feet. So that, you know, that gives you an idea about how good of a cleaning job they really do.
Oh yeah, no, they are hard workers. I mean, they will climb out of your tank. So if you look at our sticker there, that's the water level that we want to keep the tank at, because these escape. But in your home aquarium, as long as you've got a good lid that's sealed all around the corner, but even your filters, I've seen them go up filters and stuff like that before. And this is a barb that I've always, you know, wondered why it wasn't more popular, because I think it's just as good as the tiger barb.
They're probably better.
Yeah.
They're not as mean.
Yeah, and they're not feisty. You know, that's the problem with tiger barbs, is they're really aggressive. But that's the Hexazona barb.
These are Hexazona barbs, actually. The 6-banded barb. They're very closely related to a 5-banded barb, and they're often sold as that, but there are some slight differences. But they're little tiny barbs. They're nice bright red in color once they get bigger and settle into a tank. If you have them over a dark substrate like dark brown or black, that'll really help them color up, as well as low lighting and lots of plant cover. Picture a Southeast Asian peat swamp.
Yeah.
That's where they come from. They look great with cryptocorans and wild bettas and rasboras, and
yeah. Good community fish.
Very good community fish, non-aggressive, non-nippy.
Just so y'all know, I'm not able to see the comments right now, but the tanks are actually under treatment right now. That's why it's a little bit hard to see the fish. Like, you come over here and look at these barbs, and you see how nice the water clarity is. Water clarity is not going to be as good on these new arrivals.
You show them the bettas that we brought in.
Oh yeah, and these are wild types. Right?
I think they're the first betta Imperial's gonna ever offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are strawberry bettas.
Yeah.
I believe they're tank raised, but they are a wild strain.
Yeah.
And they're small right now. They get about 2 to 3 inches. Mouth brooders.
Yeah.
Really interesting fish, and you can keep them. You can keep a pair in a 20-gallon with some dither fish, and they should be okay with each other, unlike other bettas.
Yeah. Really cool to finally get some wild bettas in here, because you know there's so many nice types of wild types. So we brought this in to test the waters and see how they did, and I think in the future we're going to have a lot more wild type bettas. You know, tank raised but wild type.
I know you like these.
Oh man, this Kabotai. This is one of the Rasaboras that it's really a difficult one to get. Nobody here domestically breeds it. And this video is not going to do them justice by no means, but if you just Google the name Kabotai Rasabora, and you'll see what they look like, you know, in ideal conditions with lighting and everything else. But it's a small dwarf Rasabora, and they get like almost like a bright lime green.
That's just a solid lime green color all around. That's their entire spiel, and it looks great. With red plants, with green plants, they blend in and increase their colors a bit. And they get a little bit bigger than that, but stay smaller than like a Harlequin or Rasabora, for example. So they are a small fish, perfect for those nano tanks. Yeah, the Rasaboras, all of them are just amazing fish. You know, I mean, like, we're going to show the chilies. Yeah. These are one of my favorites. Yeah. And this is another, nano one. I don't know if the lens is going to be able to pick up, just how colorful they are, but it's a really nice Rasabora, and they call it the chili Rasabora red. Gets bright red. Yep, and as big as they are now is as big as they're gonna get. They're less than half an inch long, maybe exactly half an inch long, and you can fit 20-30 of them in a 15-gallon, no problem. Yeah. They'll love being with company. You get fewer than 6, and they're just gonna be all over the place one at a time. You're not gonna really see a schooling motion, but when you get 15-30 of them in a smallish tank with some plants, that's when you see them go back and forth with each other. Yeah, I'm gonna have to break out the micro lens on my big camera for these, because they're really small fish like that are real difficult to photograph. So here's our first oddball that we brought in. I was really happy with these guys too, because they weren't like real big, and they're actually perfect size. See if I can scare them out.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. If we could lift one of those pipes up.
These are fire eels, tank raised and very small. They're no thicker than a pencil right now, but you can see them all poking their head out of that tube back
cool,
there.
Yeah. No, they are cool fish.
Very cool fish. They do get up to 3 feet long, so they need a big tank. And they will eat anything they can fit in their mouths, so any type of schooling fish really is out of the question with them.
Yeah.
But they can be kept with, you know, most cichlids are okay with them.
Yeah.
Most oddballs like bikers, which we'll show you in a few minutes, those will be fine with these guys. And, you know, if you give them a few tubes like this, they'll appreciate it. Also, a thick bed of sand, you'll see them dive into the sand and stick their little nose up, which I think is very fun to watch.
Yeah, and these guys get really colorful when they get big.
Yeah, real colorful. They get their name fire eel from the black coloration and a bunch of orange and red stripes and spots all down their back. And you can't really see it in these small guys, but...
You got some new Tetras right here, and this is the carries.
Carry Tetras, yep, the Blue Emperor, as they call it.
Yeah.
And they're small too, so they don't have their full color yet, but they are a very colorful fish. Once they get about an inch long, you'll start seeing that real nice blue-violet up here. And, you know, that'd be a good thing to have with those violet cories, so you have just a nice violet tank.
Yeah. And these guys get blue whenever they get colored up.
Definitely.
So, nice. I'm going to try to answer some of these comments too. I see Les is on from Ontario. What's up, Les? Got some clown loaches. I'm going to just hold it on the tank while I answer some of these questions, but I'm glad we were able to finally get clown loaches in, because this is another one that's been very difficult to get, because there's a few people breeding them here in Florida, but not with a lot of success. And so, you know, we're really dependent on, you know, the guys overseas, and I was real happy with the size and the quality of these guys, you know. George, Blitz Peacocks on, what's up? From Miami. The Antonio Bosemani that I got from you guys look great, already giving me fry.
Congrats.
Nice. Yeah. That's awesome, because they were just getting mature size.
Yeah, they're barely an inch, so that's amazing.
Yeah, so those guys should really only get even, you know, prettier. All right, Moloto Ivory Heads. Can we pop over them?
Email me. I have one.
Okay.
I have one male and a bunch of small juveniles. I don't know if they're male or female yet. So the juveniles are on the website. The male is not on there right now, but shoot me an email to remind me.
Yep. So Rich183, shoot us an email, and he can find you at least one male. So
we also have the Gold Crest.
Yeah, that's the ones I was thinking of.
Okay. Yeah, we have the Gold Crest and the Moloto.
Now they're looking hot too, right? Yep. I mean,
we can go over there.
Yeah.
I think that's it. We got a few more loaches here.
Yeah, several tanks of clowns, and then
and some yo-yos.
We got some coolie loaches, and these guys did really good. It's crazy. There's how many of them are in there?
I think we ordered like 200.
Yeah, so there's 200 of those guys in there, and they're all in those pipes. You know, and this is a Pakistani.
Yep, yo-yo loach. They get their name.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of the pattern when they're young, the stripes and dots look like the word yo-yo.
Yeah.
You can see them over on this side. They're all hiding under the tube.
I think they're hidden. Yeah.
They think they're clever.
Yeah. Yeah, those are cool. A lot of community fish on this order, you know?
Yep. So here's one. There's one male in the back that's starting to color up, and that's the Moloto Lacoma.
Yeah.
It's Copidachromis. And I think we have some big breeder males that I can make available too, if you're interested in those. They're going to be quite a bit bigger than he is, but I'm sure I can find one.
I like all the Copidachromis species. I mean, you just got to be patient with them, but they're really nice.
Yeah, the white blaze are colored up here too.
Oh yeah. You know what's crazy is every time we sell a male out of that tank, another one fires up and takes his place, you know?
Yep, you just gotta be patient with them. Yeah. Not all the males are immediately colorful. It's all maturation, just like people get growth spurts later in life or earlier in life.
Answer some of these questions. Michael Bryan is asking when we're going to have some Electric Blue Texas. What's the status on those guys?
Well, we're out for now. We are currently trying to breed some more because we went crazy selling them last year, and we're getting our brood stock back up and running. So it'll probably be a while before we get some more of those, but we have plenty of green ones, of course.
And we did get some more of the Bozeman, and right?
Yep.
This is the Contino, and they're starting to color up just a little bit.
Barely there. Yeah, it's tough to sex, so keep that in mind when you see fish that it says unsexed and you want males or females only. It's not always possible to tell, so we do our best, but you'll have to bear with us in some things like this.
All right, I'm gonna park it in front of a tank and answer some of these. This is just this is some fish that we breed actually in house. This is the Gymnogia Rhabdotis, and these actually picked up in popularity lately. I've been seeing more of these go out.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah, they are gorgeous, and these actually were collected by my friend Spencer Jack in Canada. Went to Uruguay with Felipe Cantera, who is a dear friend of ours that he passed away a few years ago. But it's I mean, all the fish from Uruguay I collect here because of Felipe, all the work that he did to get those fish into the hobby and educate people. But I'm gonna go through these questions real quick because I've seen quite a few coming in. KG said nice yellow Congos. I showed those off earlier. Allison saying those Emerald Mel Rainbows you sent me this week look amazing. Just finished a water change and they colored up like crazy. That is a fish that is underrated because most people, you know, unless they are happy, they're not going to be showing full colors. So I'm glad that you're taking good care of them, that you could, you know, see the full beauty of the emeralds, because that is a really nice one. Joe Rudes from England's on, nice. Mikey Adonis is asking about Bucrochromis martinia. That's not one that we have.
No, it's not one we breed. We did have some pretty much all fall and winter, and they sold out about 2 weeks ago. So we'll probably give it some more time and then reorder them. But it's not something that we breed, and it's not something that will ever be big because they come in small and they go out small. So
yeah, that's the way it is with a lot of the predator apps. They don't color up until they get, you know, really big. So
but we do have some big male Rhodesii available right now. They're almost 9 inches long.
Yeah, and that's a really nice one too. But we're going to be working on more predator apps. So so Wendy said, oh my gosh, yay, so excited, thanks. She's about 20 minutes away. She says, I'm pretty sure my uncle knows you from Carpenters. He mentioned you. That's funny. We actually
she was here picking up fish today.
Yeah, we actually go by there once a week at least and pick up supplies from them. So Ahmad saying that the Facebook group's almost at 5,000 members. Nice.
Dude, I think it was 4,000 last year, right?
Yeah. So more and more people are joining it, and I can't say enough about our Facebook group. I mean, they're doing such an awesome job educating people with, you know, better ways to keep their fish, and it really helps, you know, us out by everybody becoming better fish keepers, you know. So and at some point we're going to open up the floodgates on the Facebook group, and because we don't even like promote it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't put it, I mean, at some point I think we might even have it on the front page of our website for, you know, people that have questions or want to learn more. We have a lot of new people getting into the hobby right now from this COVID shutdown. So I think it'd be a good time to, you know, make sure people starting out in the hobby now are given the right information, you know. KG's telling everybody to hit that like button. Appreciate it. Chad, hello. Blitz is saying, hey Mike, remember when I killed all my fish and the Facebook group bought me a credit to Imperial? It says, unfortunately I haven't used it yet and likely will not be able to in the future. Can it be transferred? Yes. I mean, just, you know, find out, you know, I don't know. We could probably do a giveaway on the Facebook group. Ahmad, if you're still on, you know, maybe you guys do some type of raffle and we'll pick a winner. Because if I remember right, it was like a couple $100, you know, so I think it'd be great. But yeah, that code though that we sent you, It's good for a one-time use, and it could be used by anybody. So
shoot me an email. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing that though. So I know the community really came together to help you out. Tom's asking for Synodontis multipunctatus here in Texas. That's a really tough one.
We have a handful of fry that we just pulled from a peacock about 2 weeks ago. So it'll be probably a few more weeks before they're an inch to sell, and at that point we'll start selling them. So my advice is buy them and grow them up yourself, because they're probably going to be gone before they get that 2-inch mark.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's one of those fish that we can't breed enough of, and you know, on our listing for the multipunctatus, there you could get in on the email waiting list, and when you get on that waiting list, as soon as we put them back up, you will get an email notification, and that works out really well. And I would use it because, you know, there's other people that sign up for those emails too, and you know, they don't last long. There's a lot of fish that, you know, when we put them up, they pretty much go right out the door, you know. So all right, we're going to jump back to some of the newer fish. This is another fish. This is the first one for me, and I love Central Americans, and I love ones that get big and colorful. And you know, tell them about this one.
These are the Argentia Cichlid, very popular. They get pretty big, I think about 8-10 inches, and they have a really nice silver sheen on them. Similar to the black belt cichlids, which we'll show in a few minutes, that we also got. But they're a nice fish for, you know, those folks who like real big tanks, lots of big fish, one of each type of thing. Very, very nice. Not commonly seen, you know, different from, you know, your fire mouths and green Texas and stuff. They're a little bit harder to find, so we're happy to be able to bring them in.
This is one of the fish. Every time somebody has a big male that they put in a fish show, they always win. Yeah.
Yeah, let's show these off here. These are one of the many new rainbow fish species we got. These are Melanitania species from Comeng River, and that's their name until someone else describes them. So they are undescribed as of right now. They're kind of hard to see, but I think the camera's picking up their blue shine pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
They look really cool, and they're still a little bit stressed from the travel, and they're over some light sand, so they're not fully colored up, but you can see really how much color they actually have.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know if the camera's picking up that blue, but with your eyes, it's really nice. And that's one thing that we did bring in a lot of on this order, is a lot of new rainbows, because our friend in Indonesia, he's the one that's actually going to Papua New Guinea and West Papua and collecting all these new rainbows for the hobby. So Gary Lang and a lot of the icons in the rainbow hobby are very familiar with Jeffrey over there in Indonesia, and he's got quite the extensive rainbow breeding program going on. I mean, I don't even know how many types he's up to now, but it's just mind-blowing, all the new species of rainbows that are coming in, and he's doing a really good job working with the scientists in the hobby to make sure that, you know, they're given proper, you know, names for location and everything. So Hans Evers is also working with them on that. So it's nice to get some of these new rainbows over here and get them in the hobby.
And I'll tell you right now, I'm not sure we'll get any great pictures of them for the foreseeable future, just because it takes them a while to color up, and we don't have the time or patience to capture the rainbows, unfortunately. But guys like Gary Lang have tons of great photos of these fish. So what I recommend doing is either searching their names just in Google and seeing what you can find on various forums, or if you're on Facebook, join the Rainbow Fish Live group and search their name.
Because that's a great group for information about rainbows.
Almost all of these fish have better pictures than I will ever take, already taken of them, on that group, so you can really get an idea for how they're going to look when they're turned on, because we all know rainbows turn off and on very sporadically throughout the day. So forgive me for photographing silverfish, but that's what we're going to deal with for a while.
No, it's that way, unless you have them in a breeding setup where they're showing like full color. So a lot of these are going to look silver, but trust me, they don't stay silver.
They look great. They have great fins right now. They all came in very healthy. So it's just a matter of, you know, waiting for them to really turn on. but 2 days is not long enough for us to do that.
It's a very stressful trip to travel 6,000 miles in a plastic bag, you know? Imagine, you know, just in the States, traveling 500 miles is stressful. So this is another new one, not new to the hobby, but we haven't had it. And the fact that he got a location on him, this one gets bright yellow, right?
I believe they actually get more of a white. I'll have to double check. They are somewhat new to me, but I'll see if I can pull up a picture here.
If I remember right, they get like a golden yellow, and which that's where the name Goldie first came from. But I do know there's several locations of them.
So here's actually, they actually come from the Goldie River.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a picture from Rainbow Fish Live of a male. So they do have white bellies with red fins. Very gorgeous fish.
Oh, okay. So it's Goldie River then.
Goldie River, yeah. It's a very odd name, but
yeah. A lot of those names you think as you know, a description of the fish, you know. So that's a really nice looking fish though. Now I think these are some that I collected with Hans, right? The Waru,
so.
I thought the Rawa Waru was one of them. You might have to pull up the list and see which one.
It wasn't one of the 4, because your buddy did send you some that you collected, but we threw them in Mikey's breeding room, so we can just start reproducing them because we don't have many.
Yeah, all that real small groups.
Yeah, real small groups, but
All right. I'm gonna try to catch up to some of these questions. Wendy's asking, since you guys do quarantine, is it still necessary for myself to do a month quarantine? I don't think you need to do a month, but we quarantine everything. Even if we move it to a different building, we don't like fish going into established tanks with other fish until they, I mean, just from us moving fish from like the pond to the greenhouse to the warehouse, we always like to quarantine. So even though the fish are top notch, your water is going to be different than our water. So it's always good to quarantine. Not for a month though. I mean, I would say within a week is plenty of time to see that the fish is adjusting to his new environment, and I think that's all you have to do, Wendy. So this is Rawa Bairu then.
Rawa Bairu, and I think that means Bairu swamp. And they're a Splendida type. I believe they have an interesting backstory because they were once a different fish, and then some Splendida naturally made their way into the swamp, and they started hybridizing naturally. And this is the result. So, you know, you're really seeing nature at work. This is not something that humans did on purpose to create a new fish. This is all natural, exactly how new species are created. So these don't have a name yet. They're still undescribed, but they appear to be at least somewhat related to Splendida types, which, you know, have those real long pointed fins, lots of spots on them, kind of a golden orange color with a little bit of green and red depending on how you look at them. They came in looking pretty nice. Real long fins.
They look real healthy. All right, we'll try to answer. KG Cichlids is asking if we have any Lulupi, not to be confused with Lulupi.
We don't have any Lulupi. I don't know how to say that other one, but right now we are breeding the regular yellow Lulupi.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the other one in the hobby. I know they're around from some specific importers and breeders, but in my 5 years working with fish, I haven't seen them brought in, so I'm not sure exactly what the story is.
Yeah. I got it on a tank of some Gymnogia Fagus Balzani just while I was answering some of these questions. And these are all, you know, locally bred by a friend of mine, and really nice Gymno.
Yep. Nice male starting to get his home.
Yeah. John Nagara is saying your guys' quality of fish and packing and shipping is by far and away second to none. You always had a good thing going, but lately it's been exceptionally good and trading rocks. So
thank you, John.
Awesome.
I appreciate that, and I hope that Jallow Reef continues to look nice for you.
Nice. Well, you know, the big difference has been is having this facility up and running finally, because it was really, you guys wouldn't believe how difficult it was for us just to gather up orders and ship them out to you guys, because we have so many different, you know, buildings to gather them out of. So having them all in one building has made it really nice. So there's also some mirror blades right there. So in fact, Spencer brought those back on the last trip down. You know, the fish has actually grown on me because it's got a lot of personality, and it's got that nice red spot on it, you know, on its breast.
Yeah, I think the camera's actually picking it up pretty well. It's hard to photograph, but they are called the red breasted chanchito because of that spot right on their side. And these ones, like Mike said, came from Uruguay, and we've been breeding them here. And these are some of the spawns that we've received recently, so we're excited to be able to spread them around the hobby.
I don't think any more on this one. We got the birchers on this side, right?
Yep. Start here with the Ornate Bikers. We've had them before last year, and they're a favorite.
Yeah, man, they're such prehistoric looking fish. You know, it's wild. I mean, it reminds me of like the bowfin and some of the other, you know, really, you know, prehistoric looking fish, and this is one of them. And this probably goes back to the dinosaur days. I'm sure they've evolved.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure they've evolved, you know, to today's environment. Who knows how big they would have been, you know, back in the dinosaur days.
They still have some prehistoric traits, like their lung system is, they don't actually have normal gills like the rest of the fish. So on these ones, you can't see it anymore because they outgrow them, but they do have external gills like axolotl do when they're young. And as they grow, they absorb them back into their head, and then they come up to the surface to gulp air every few minutes. So very interesting behavior. They are predatory by nature, and they do get anywhere from 7 to 18 inches depending on the species. So right now they're only about 3.5 inches long, but they will get pretty big. Definitely don't keep them with anything small like any Rasboras or Tetras or dwarf cichlids or anything.
A fire eel would be, you know.
Fire eel would be a good companion for them, definitely. Put them in a 55 to start out, and you'll have to get a bigger tank at some point, but they'll be okay for a while.
All right, I'm gonna move the camera to the next bircher. This is a new one to us. We didn't bring these in last time, but this is
these are the Senegal Bikers. They're basically the common biker. They're just a light tan color. They don't get huge, so they're a good starting one because they're a little bit more affordable than some of the other types, and they don't get as big.
Yeah. And then we've got another one.
These guys are one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah.
These are the Kaliba Bikers, or the Lapredae Bikers. They have a very sought-after existence in the hobby. Lots of people want them. You can see they're barely 2 inches long right now, so they are very small. But they already have their patterns on them, and I'll try to get you a good photo so you can really see how they look, because they have a very impressive coloration.
Yeah, we'll have to get a good photo of this. I don't even think this camera is able to zoom in and show them the good quality of those, but yeah, they're almost like a golden color already to them. The colors are really popping.
I saw a question from Vaughn about the Pseudotropheus pullet.
Yeah.
I believe we might only have one left, and I'm pretty sure the two that were up are female, but I'm not 100%. So it's tough to sex them because the males really just lose their color if they're not breeding, but I'm fairly certain they're female.
What's up, Declotto? I see him on. Jordan 2209. What's up? Do you ship to the UK? Yeah, it's funny you asked that, because we've been asked that a lot, and my typical answer would have been no, not at this time. But we talked to our shipping rep, and you know, we've been shipping into Canada now for the last 12 months, and it's working out great. I mean, you know, I'm really happy with, you know, because the problem with shipping international with live tropical fish is there's a whole lot of paperwork involved, right? And you know, with the import-export, with Fish and Wildlife, and but I talked to our shipping rep, and you know, we see a lot of traffic coming to our website from Europe, and he just talked to me last week about, asked me if we were ready to start, you know, testing the waters for shipping to Europe, and I told him, I said, I think we are, you know, so he's going to start the progress of building that into our shipping database, and you know, I do know the shipping is going to be very expensive, you know, but at least it's going to be guaranteed to get there with our shipping methods and the way we pack. I think we can ship anywhere in the world. So, so today we're not shipping into the UK, but we're hoping right here in the near future we will be. That was a pair of our green chromite breeders that they're from India, and a good friend of mine who's like one of the leading experts with the Chinchilla species from South America actually collected them. Vaughn Kitty.
Vince Cuddy.
Vince Cuddy.
Okay, something like that.
We'll show the black belts off first. You know what I noticed about this strain of black belt is they actually look different than the old strain that was always local. Like our babies didn't have this much coloration that I used to see. So I know there's been a lot more collecting in Central America for fish. So I'm hoping that this is a good, fresh strain from the wild,
Another nice big Central American cichlid, kind of like the Senspillum. They get a nice red on their throat and their tail, and then they have a thick black band that develops as they grow up, which obviously that's why they get their name. But another big one, they'll need something like a 125 to really be happy, and they can be aggressive, but they're not overly aggressive compared to some other nasties from Central America.
Yeah, but they're already, some of those fish in there are already showing really good coloration, so I was happy to see that. This is another favorite right here that we haven't had in quite a while, but these won't last long.
No.
We actually ordered 2 bags of them because we knew they wouldn't last long, and I know a lot of you probably recognize them already, but that's the Roseline Shark or Hexazona Barb. Sorry about that, I had a phone call coming in. But this is a really nice community planted fish. They do get about, what, 5-6 inches?
Yeah.
I think would be the biggest.
They do well with rainbows. They're a great rainbow fish companion.
Yeah. And that red that you see, running down the head right there will only get brighter and brighter the more the fish grows. So really cool community fish. And these have been a hot item. We are constantly getting asked when we're going to have more of these up, and we were lucky to get some smaller ones, but this is the albino heculi, the albino threadfin acara, and they don't look that special now, but man, that fish is spectacular. I already like the heculi because of the long trailers and personality, but the albino ones, a lot of people don't like albino fish for the colors, but everybody I talked to said, man, those are special right there. So really glad we were able to get some albino heculi in. And again, they're small, so they won't have much color, but it's...
Yeah, don't expect them to look like the photo.
Yeah.
Last one on this row are the Waru. We got some Tangray's Waru, and these are just the regular triangle cichlids, not the panda one. But these guys are great nonetheless. A little bit more common, and they're kind of like a poor man's discus is what they call them sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they get big, they get real round just like a discus does, but they're not as sensitive to warm water and high nitrates and stuff.
Yeah, and they're not nearly as pricey as discus or
definitely.
the Waru Fernandez. In fact, I don't even think the Waru's been bred in captivity yet. I know there's been a lot of people that have worked on them, but I'm pretty sure those aren't even been bred in captivity. So the fact that these are bred in captivity and available, I think, is pretty awesome. In fact, we brought in 2 Waru Fernandez orders from Colombia, and
they didn't do well.
They didn't do well both times.
They're very sensitive. You already showed the Congos?
Yeah, I showed the Congos. I'll hold it on them just for a minute.
I wonder if you can see these guys up here.
I bet if I angle it down.
They were in the back 2 corners.
Yeah.
I'll have to get a photo of these. We got some Sultan plecos in, L264s.
Yeah, hold it up, I'll get the ladder.
They're barely 1.5 inches long right now. I don't know if they're back there or not. I'm too short, but they are very small. They don't get that big. They get maybe 5 inches long at max. They're gray fish with black spots on them, and they are a very rare Brazilian species. So we're happy to be able to bring them in tank raised.
Yeah, that's a fish that's not easy to breed also in captivity. So I'm happy that my friend had success breeding them. He actually has had lots of success breeding rare plecos. In fact, he's the largest zebra pleco breeder in the world. And we did bring in, I think if I lift the wood, they should. There we go.
You can see how small they are, but
yeah,
they look amazing.
They do. That's a really awesome little Tangray Plico right there. So now one thing you need to know about these guys is these are not algae eaters, right? I mean, they'll clean like driftwood, but I do think they're a lot more carnivore.
They are omnivorous. They'll appreciate everything, so they do munch some algae occasionally. They'll like cucumbers and spinach and stuff like that, but they also like bloodworms and brine shrimp too. So that's something that not a lot of people realize.
Yeah. So those are really cool. So like I said, we had a lot of fish come in. So we got some Pea Puffers in. I know everybody's always asking us for puffers, and you know, we said, you know what, Tangray's Pea Puffers, we got to bring them in. So so that's pretty cool that we got some Pea Puffers in. The yellow Congo right there, and again, this doesn't do it justice with the water being a little bit, you know, tinted, and but that's a really special Congo right there.
The picture on our website's pretty good, if I do say so myself.
And then we brought these guys in, and this is like a fish that everybody has a love-hate with in the hobby, right? Because they are very sensitive, you know, like you know, genetically no one really knows how this fish came about. My understanding is a guy in Argentina that was breeding Jack Dempsey's started seeing some blue babies, and he selectively bred to this line. So that's really all the information. And if you guys know much about the electric blue Jack Dempsey's, there's been just tons of, like, you know, hobbyists that have worked with them, and they're a very difficult one to breed and keep. But I will say that they're one of the most colorful, you know, creations that I've seen. You know, the males are just spectacular. So it's one of those love-hate relationships where, you know, you love to have them and have them looking really good, and then you always hate to, you know, not have the fish do good for many years, you know. But it was nice that we got these in, and I'm hoping that this strain will be, you know, even hardier, because it's been a year or so since I've personally brought some in. So I'm hoping that their genetics have gotten better. And I mean, already I could tell that these guys don't have as many flaws in them like some of the other ones that I brought in from the past.
They do look better.
So
they're small. They're barely an inch.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised when you see them and they are tiny. They're an inch. They're there, but it'll take some time to grow them up.
Yeah. So electric blue Jack Dempsey's. Black Ghost Knives. Yeah, there's only a couple Black Ghost Knives. That's also another really cool fish, and those are also tank raised. Those are going to be hard to see. And then we got some Peacock Bass, which everybody's always asking when we're going to get more Peacock Bass in. So it's nice that we were able to bring some in, because we are actually breeding some Peacock Bass. And in fact, I think we ought to bring in our pond of the ones that we had left in the pond to grow up last spring or last summer. Is this the Azul? I mean,
these are the Azul Peacock Bass, as far as we know.
Yeah, I know they actually didn't use the name Azul. They just called it the Blue Peacock and used the Cicla Piquiti, which should be the right fish as the Azul. The Azul, and I believe in Portuguese, means blue. So that's where the name Azul Peacock came from. But this is the one that turns really bright blue. We got pictures of them, I think, still on the website, right? When
Probably.
We used to sell them, so.
Yeah, they're small. I mean, they're about 2.5, 3 inches right now, and they're gonna grow fast. But we're gonna start offering them here soon, so they will be pretty small. They won't have any color yet.
Yeah, and these are pellet fed.
Tank raised. They're already weaned onto
pellet food, which is a big advantage, because a lot of times when you bring these guys in from the wild, from South America, it's very difficult to feed them because they only want live food, you know. So the fact that you can feed these pellets and live food is a big advantage, you know. But you have to have a big tank. I mean, I would say nothing less than a 180. I think a 120. Yeah. I think a 125 is definitely undersized, you know.
They get 14 inches at, you know, just at maturity, and then once they keep going, they keep going.
So if you have a small tank, do not buy this fish. You know, as much as I'd like to sell you guys all my fish, don't buy them if you got a small tank. You know, one thing that we always hear is, oh, well, I got a 55 right now, and I plan on upgrading in the future. Well, you know, that's good if that happens, but you don't know what the future holds. So, you know, I always recommend people to have big tanks, you know, before you start trying to keep big fish. I know you want to show these guys off too. This is actually from the Colombian order that we brought in, but this is like, we've been holding on to them and conditioning them because they came in and really emancipated and in bad shape, but now they're recovering and they're looking really nice.
Yeah, more South American puffers. Very, very peaceful puffer compared to others. They will still be a little bit nippy towards some fish, but you can definitely keep a group of, you know, 5 or 6 of these in a 35, 40 gallon tank, and they'll be fine. They'll get about 2.5, 3 inches at full size, and they really like to hang out with one another, swim in circles up and down the back of the tank, as you can see. They do well with bigger tetras, some dwarf cichlids probably okay.
So I really like the puffers.
I think we got more rainbows, and that might be it.
Okay. I'm gonna try to answer some of these questions. I also seen a donation come in, so I need to find out who sent that to us. KG saying send all those rummy nose to Corey of Aquarium Co-op. So he must be needing some rummy nose. Michael Bryant Carpentis. We do have some. If you remind us next week early on, we'll go show you some of the different strains of Carpentis. We got the Escondido, which is also commonly called the Green Texas, and then we have the Minklei. So those are the 2 Herictes species that we currently have. So Malotu ivory heads, Rich, I showed those earlier. We had a male that was showing, you know, pretty good color, but email us and you know,
watch the video because we talked all about them.
Jordan's asking about jewel sapphires. Which jewel is that? I know we have some jewels.
What's the scientific name, man?
Yeah, we gotta, if you tell us like hemichromis, you know, Laffa or whatever, we could probably let you know if we got them, but we got some location strain jewels that we're breeding. So Mark Lust, Meatball Mark in the house. What's up, Mark? Andy Singh is asking, hello everyone, any idea when you get the Sevenai and Tapajos and Waimila back in Waimila?
Tapajos, we've got some fry. It'll probably be another month or 2 before they're big enough. Waimila just started spawning again, so it'll be a few months on those guys, and the Spenai are hopefully breeding out in the pond. So last year we had great success with them. We had some spawns indoors, some spawns in the pond. And this year we took a gamble and threw them back in the pond so they can get bigger faster. So hopefully in a few weeks, at least on the Spenai and Tapajos, we'll have more. Yeah,
and maybe one day we'll go into the breeding room and show you some of the breeding groups on those guys too, because they are looking spectacular. But you know, those 3 Geophagus are not commonly available in the hobby, so that's something that we have to breed in-house because we can't just go out and buy them from a friend that breeds them. So you know, and they sell really fast when they're
slow growing. I mean, we've had these Tapajos for 2 months now, and they're not even an inch yet.
Yeah.
And they're getting fed live brine 2-3 times a day. So that'll give you an idea for the waiting time.
And the winter time is a lot slower because we have to grow them indoors where it's controlled climate. But now that we're getting towards warmer weather, we could probably grow them up, you know, in the ponds or even in the vat rooms and speed that process up. Jerry from Iowa. Andrea wants African cichlids. Remind us next week, we'll show you some Africans. Nashad's on. What's up, Nashad? Caroline says, get to see you on my TV, home doing the water change. Nice. It's crazy with these smart TVs how easy it is to, you know, mirror your phone. Chevy Fish, hello. Michael Bryant says he only wants to see the Carpentis. All right, well, get on next week, Michael, and we're going to show you some Carpentis. Wendy says she loves the Bettas, cool Eels. You can see, guys, I'm way behind on the comments. So, yeah, Brian says crown loaches are difficult to breed because of migratory fish. Yep, and there's been some successful breeding. It's just that they cannot produce enough of them. You know, it's just small numbers in captivity. Frankie says he's been looking for carry Tetras in a while. When will those be available? I'd say next week. If everything,
mostly everything next week, hopefully.
Yeah, if everything goes well, we will be putting those up next week. Steve said he got a peek inside the warehouse when I did a pickup last month. Looks amazing. I appreciate it, Steve. I can't wait till we start being able to have you know, appointments for walkthroughs again. You know, but unfortunately, it'll be quite some time until this COVID you know, gets better for all of us. Lynn Chapman's on. Awesome, Lynn. Glad to have you on. Appreciate all that you do in our group. Mikey's saying he ordered 2 jawlers a few years back. One colored up and is stunning. Nice. Well, the other one's a male too. He might not color up right next to the one that's colored up. So, or it's a female. But that's awesome that you've had that fish, and it's looking really nice. Super Motive donated $5. I appreciate that, guys. You know, we never ask for you know, donations, but when you do it, it's like, wow, it just means a lot to us. So it really helps us you know, do what we do. So which is, you know, we feel very lucky that we're able to play with fish all day, you know. So and we've got some big things that we're working on that, you know, I haven't even talked about with you guys yet. So, you know, all that you guys are doing to buy our fish and support us is going to allow us to do some really great things. So yep, Ahmad's saying he could plan something with the 5K milestone. Absolutely. You guys work up a plan and, you know, let us know what you need from us, and we're down for it. So Ripsaw's on. Caroline's asking how many Denisani barbs should I put in the tank. I have read you should keep them in large groups. Well, that's kind of like a, you know, a question that we would have to get more details in, but they do better in groups because they are schooling fish. But it really depends on the size of your tank. Of course, the bigger the tank, the bigger the group. But if you join our Facebook group, I know there's some a lot of keepers on the page that are keeping them, and they can give you an idea of what size tank they're keeping them in, and but they definitely do better in a group. So, in my opinion. Wendy's saying COVID got her into the hobby. Nice. 10 tanks already, Wendy. Wow. You might have what we call the MTS syndrome, right? And that's called the multiple tank syndrome. So unfortunately, there's no help for it. It only gets more fun with the more tanks you have. So Ronald from Las Vegas. What's up, Ronald? Lynn loves her rainbows. Third Coast, how's it going? All right, Ahmad's jumping off, said he had to get back to work. He's going to rewatch it later. Yep, no problem. Blitz Peacock Bass. Keith says his fish came in today, all alive and in good health. Nice, thanks for that feedback, Keith. Jack says he needs more Africans. Wendy says her black rams that she picked up last Friday laid eggs already. That's awesome. I saw that post on the Facebook group. Yeah. So, well, I'm glad they were able to get a pair for you, because they are not easy to sex at that small size. So they did eat them after they hatched. Well, a lot of times after they hatch, yeah, you almost have to remove them from the parents. Now, that being their first time breeding, that's not uncommon, because typically rams are good parents. But if there's any other fish in the tank that stresses them out, they will eat the babies. Ronald says Argentine black belts, time to do some shopping. Nice. Yeah, we're excited to have those in. Peplin Creek Quarks is asking if we have any gold rose lines. No, we have brought them in before, but they are like really pricey. So, I mean, if that's something that you would like us to bring in, you know, let us know, and you know, maybe in a month or so.
They were like $30 wholesale.
Yeah, they were really expensive. So yeah, we brought them in before, but that's an expensive bag of fish, So, but I think with more tanks, we could definitely bring them in the future. Lewis is saying the video is blurry, or is it my connection? It could be just the live feed in here with the signal. I know, we've been talking about that on a few of the past Fun Fridays that it's just kind of blurry. So, Mikey's saying, did I hear you say you ship to Canada? Yes, we do. We ship to Canada. And in fact, when you visit our website, it'll recognize your IP address as being a Canadian. So you'll get a little pop-up that explains, what to expect and kind of how it works, and convert everything into Canadian currency. But it's been working very, very flawless. But email us if you have any questions. He's asking what those black octopus-like things are floating in the tanks. Those are what the fish were shipped in, just to kind of keep them, from beating each other up in the bag and help them keep them calm. So it's actually just black that the shipper uses, and we put them in the tank for the same purpose, just so the fish have some structure to feel comfortable. Dragon Layers says he's late, but hey, you're here. Florida Fish Rescue. Hi, everyone. Wow, that's the first time I've seen the Florida. I'm glad we got some rescue guys on here. Pepperland Creeks, hello. Man, you guys are chatting away up there. Ali Sean's on. What's up? Yeah. Chevy's asking if we deworm our puffers. The tank raised ones we haven't had to, but we did worm. I'm pretty sure we put them through a metronidazole on the ones end.
Should be fine.
Yeah, they've been
here for 3 months.
Yeah. SoFlo's asking, do we have Neo Lampologus multis?
We got some in. They're very small, so we didn't bother showing them.
Yeah.
They're less than half an inch.
Yeah.
We will start selling them soon as well. And we're going to keep some of them back to hopefully breed up. We've got a lot of new Tanganyikan breeders that we're working with. Gold ocellatus, Tomatochromis guttatus, Blueface Brichardi, Malupi.
I was really happy to see the gold ocellatus babies. We got quite a few babies of those, and they don't have many babies each spawn, so they're doing really well.
But yeah, multis will be available in very low numbers, so get them while you can.
All right.
We got like 5 or 6 more rainbows we can show off.
Yeah. While I'm doing the questions.
These are the Fletcher Creek rainbows. Another undescribed species new to the hobby in the last 2 years, 3 years, but very colorful. You can see that the males already have some dark black in their fins, and they get those little stripes along them, so should be good. And these should be somewhat sexable, so I haven't decided how we're going to sell these, if we're going to just do them as solos or if we're going to try to pair them up, but we probably won't offer too many male only packs because they're hard to tell, and if we can tell, it means there's females to go with them. So
yeah, we
encourage breeding these guys just to keep spreading them around the hobby, keeping them pure. The more we can get rainbows like these rather than some of the common hybrids in stores, the better.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about getting these new strains in that have locations on them, because it's there's a lot of hybrids in the rainbow world that we're trying to not do. So there's one above it too, the Wapogas.
Yeah, we got some more of those. They did sell out last week. We had a small batch, but we did get some more for y'all.
Yeah. Florida Fish Rescue says he's got a big Pacu, 24 to 32 inch, up for adoption. Yeah, we actually stopped carrying the Pacu and the red-tailed cats because of how big they get. So I'm glad that you're taking those in and giving them a good home. But a lot of those fish that we feel that wouldn't be good for the hobby, we just stopped carrying them altogether. And the ones that do get big, we make sure people know that they get big and they need a bigger tank. So here's another rainbow, Galasio Creek.
These are bright red in color, bright red, bright orange. They're very similar to Melanitania susai, which was recently featured in Amazonas, I think last spring. And that's one that I believe you guys collected when you went. And those aren't available in the hobby yet, but these are the next best thing, so we're excited to have them. They're small, they're not really sexable yet. So get a group of 6 and get them going. You'll be rewarded pretty soon.
And I know I said it earlier, but these tanks are all under quarantine, so there's like a yellow tent in the water. So like if you put it over here on the tank next to it, that's not under quarantine, you could see the difference. You know, I mean the you know, fish are a lot easier to see. You know, but these tanks that are tinted like that, it's not really showing up very good.
These are one of my favorites, the Luminatus blue eye.
And these guys are really rare. Like, you know, I see even on the Rainbow Fish Live page, you know, that it's just not a very, still a rare fish, even though it's been around for, you know, I don't know, 5 years or so. But really cool fish. So I like all the pseudomcgill species, and I think these fall under the pseudomcgill, right?
Yep,
so,
very active little guys. They get probably 2 inches max, usually 1.5 inches. They're bright red in color with a blue back, and then they have bright blue eyes, which look really nice, and they usually hang out in the upper half of the water column, so they go well with cories and small tetras that want to swim down on the bottom. You can kind of really spread out your tank there.
Yeah, that's a really rare one. And that's a really rare one that we actually breed right here. This is the Upper River Catherine.
Upper Catherine River Blackfin Rainbows. Yep, these guys are awesome. They're like almost like a maroon purple color with jet black fins. It's tough to beat them in terms of color. I'm surprised they're not up there with emeralds and Bozemanii in terms of popularity, but
I think they're still new, you know, so they're really nice. So those guys, albino millenniums. This is the Sunset Dwarfs, Parvos.
Yeah, we've been waiting for a while for these. We've been breeding them here, and we have some spawns that we're holding back for just more breeders ourselves, but we wanted to go ahead and bring some in to sell you guys because they are popular. They are a beautiful fish.
They're really nice.
Bright orange when they get colored up. Really nice fish. And so again, these are too small to sex, but 6-pack of them will yield good results. And then our last rainbow is the Melanitania sexlineata from Taboo Bill. And these have been imported in the States once or twice already. They are, I believe, an orange fish with some nice striping on them. But again, they're very small right now. You can just tell like 2 or 3 of them starting to get some color on them.
Like I said, these guys just literally came in like two nights ago.
And like I said, just once you see all these posted on our website, go Google their names for photos and videos from people who have mature adults that are spawning, because that's really when you see the rainbows for what they are. And unfortunately, we can't do that just yet. So. And
that Facebook group, Rainbow Live, Rainbow Fish Live, is a great resource to learn more about these fish too, because a lot of them are new to the hobby. There's not a lot of people out there with them. So.
Gary posts a lot of his interesting stories about collecting them as well, so you can really learn a lot from visiting and reading the comments that people like him leave.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to answer up these questions. I appreciate Drayden, you know, walking you guys through some of these new fish. So, you guys got any questions about the fish you saw today? Just shoot us an email. So, I'm going to try to answer these questions. I always try to answer them. So, I'm just going to try to knock these out real quick and wrap it up. We actually went really long today, which was nice because this was the first Friday that you know, we weren't really pressed for time, that we're just kind of catching up this week. So I'm going to sit here and try to answer some of you guys' questions. Florida Fish Rescue, talking about big goldfish. Got all types of fish, man. I'm glad you're doing that. So Steve, is there a rainbow fish that I was looking to get some for my 1,000-gallon? Yeah, we just showed you a bunch. I know I'm way behind on the questions, but I just went through, and these were all new ones that just came in, but I've panned over a few of the other types that we have, but we have a really big rainbow selection, and for the most part, most of them are in stock and available, and they look stunning. So a 1,000-gallon rainbow tank, you get that thing up with some of my rainbows, please do send me a picture. Join our Facebook group, Imperial Tropicals Fish Keepers, and let's see that 1,000-gallon tank, man. That'd be awesome. I love big tanks. Dragon Lair saying he appreciates the ethics. Yep. No, we we want people to not get something that they are not properly knowledged on how to take care of it. So and the thing about the pacus, I mean, they always are sold at a small size. Same thing with red-tailed cats, and it's a mess, because people have a 55-gallon tank and they get these cute little red-tailed cats, from their local store, and they just next thing you know, they're too big for the tank. They don't want to euthanize it, which who wants to do that to a fish they love. So a lot of them release them, and that's really, really bad, really bad. So so I'm glad that there's people out there like Florida Fish Rescue and our good friend Big Rich up at the Ohio Fish Rescue. We've been to his place many times, and they're doing a great job taking those fish in and finding them a forever home. When he's talking about getting a 125 now. Hey, I'll say this, big tanks are easier to take care of, so I like it. Mega 412 says Imperial Tropicals the best doing it. I appreciate that, man. We've been working hard at it for a long time, and it just feels good to hear the feedback. So said he received 9 haps and peacocks from them, and they were all amazing. Definitely going to order again soon. Nice, man. Well, join our Facebook group if you're not already on it, and post up some pictures of your tank. We'd like to see them. Robert's asking about black corridors. No, but I'm well aware of them because that's been one of my bucket list fish for a long time. But it is a very difficult fish to get. Like, as far as in the breeding world for wholesaling, there's none of those available. So the only way you could get black corridorus is from a select few hobbyists. I know my friend Eric Bodrock up in Pennsylvania. I know he was breeding some of them, but it's a really rare quarry. So, but one day I'll have some. Ali Shaw said she had a group of baby rainbows appear in a shrimp tank. Assumed they came in with a Java moss, grew them to adult size, but Gary Lane hesitated to ID. Might be a hybrid, beautiful though. Well, Ali Shaw, I don't know. I don't think you would have got the Java moss from us because unfortunately, we could never grow enough Java moss. But if you did, contact us, and maybe we could identify them for you. If you got the Java moss from another hobbyist, you might ask them what rainbows they are, because if a person's breeding, they can usually identify their fish pretty good. So, but I love all rainbows. So Maria says, I'm actually at work hiding in the bathroom catching you live. I ain't missing this one. Nice. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So thank you for being on, Maria. I appreciate that. It's funny, I've heard that before, like people at work, and they want to catch and see what's going on. So and also you can watch the replay, but I know it's not the same as live. So Keith says thank you, have a good weekend. Nice. Dragon Lace says he'll keep giving us a shout out on the Fish Fam YouTube. Nice. I appreciate that, Dragon. No, I didn't hear about the zebra mussel that was caught in the Miramar ball at a fish tour. That's crazy. If you got any info, post it up on our Facebook group. I'd be interested to hear more about that. How do you prevent something like that? God forbid. Hopefully it never happens to you guys. Yeah, I haven't seen that. So you'll have to send us a link to it. Allison says her daycare kids are destroying my house as I watch this. Allison, that's awesome. Green Ranger said, good morning, just joined, getting a 240-gallon, switching from a 125. All rainbows. If you haven't shown any rainbows, could we see some? So hopefully already showed you some of the rainbows, but I know when I came through earlier, I showed off some of the young Bosemani rainbows who are You know, the males are just now getting colored. There's some bigger females in the back, but there's some smaller males that are starting to color. And then I know I flipped around, you know, on some of the new fish, which of course they're not going to have any color, but yeah, we got plenty of rainbows. Albino millenniums. Now I showed the upper river Catherines earlier. We got some thread fin rainbows, which always are a favorite for planted tanks. What else do we have up here? We've got some millenniums. There's like just a couple males left on the millenniums. Got a bad reflection. We got the Australis rainbows, which are really nice. We got the Deepwater Creek rainbows. A lot of the rainbows that we have did come from Gary Lang, either directly or indirectly. We're a big fan of Gary and all the knowledge that he's done educating people about the rainbow fish world. So emerald rainbow, there's a couple males starting to show color on the emeralds, but I know somebody was on there earlier talking about how nice their emerald rainbow that they got from us was looking. We got the Gorda River, we got the Madagascar rainbows, which I'm just like a huge fan of these guys. You know, I had heard of them before, but I was like, yeah, you know, how good are they really going to look in person? And what I like about them is they always look good. Like, they don't turn their colors on and off like some of the other rainbows. These guys are always popping with nice colors. So we got the Doherty eyes, and there's a couple males starting to show up on those guys. See the red coming out. We got a couple Ornates left, but I think those are off the website. But yeah, lots more. In fact, I'd probably have to spend another, you know, 30 minutes just showing you all the different rainbow types. But, you know, go to the website. We got a lot of them on there. I'm gonna go to the next comment. Noor from Indonesia's on. Nice, man. I'll tell you, I've been, you know, to a lot of countries, and I was really just shocked at just how nice Indonesia was to visit, and also the people. I mean, they were just so friendly to me, and I didn't see a lot of Western people there. In fact, I was probably the only American that I saw while I was there. But everybody was just so friendly, and just a beautiful country. I can't wait to go back one day. All right. Ollie Sean said the Java Moss came in from an auction, so yeah, it'd be hard to say. All right, guys, I'm caught up on all the comments, so I appreciate everybody that joined us. I appreciate the support. We're going to try to do more Fun Fridays. I know we went through like a fairly long, you know, spell where we didn't have them just because we were so busy, but now with Drayden feeling comfortable, you know, walking you guys around the warehouse, and we're going to start doing more and more walkthroughs on the building, and we're also going to do some more behind the scenes stuff of how we breed fish and you know, the inner workings of our operation. So be looking out for that. So everybody have a good weekend, and thank you for the donation, and I appreciate all the support. So you guys be safe, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you.